Hello and welcome to another episode of Never Onside. Hi, this is Joseph, and joining me as usual is Mayur. And today the title here is Two Penalties and Title Race, and it's apt that um, Arsenal have kind of been done hard, according to Arteta, and he was absolutely running down up and down the touchline, complaining to the fourth referee, and like so that is a big talking point in this game week, and probably if Arsenal, you know don't end up winning the title, this would be some point that Arteta would come back to, saying that he felt that there was two penalties in this match. And for me, in this match, I'm sure Arsenal did play really well. And did you see this match, Mayur?
Yes.
Yeah.
But you have to give the
So
credit to Newcastle as well. They defended
right,
really
right,
well.
right.
So
So let's
yes,
move on to the analysis and the results of game week 19. Yeah. So the game week started off with a surprising, not surprising right now, right? We expect Liverpool to, be badgered by someone like a Brentford, who, without their star striker Tony, did manage to win the match 3-1. Surprisingly, they had, I guess the score should have been 4-0 at some point, because two goals were ruled offside by VAR as well. So Liverpool were really lucky to not go down six or five goals down like they did with Aston Villa a couple of seasons back. And yeah, so what do you think about this Liverpool side now?
uh, major as we have seen throughout this tournament, throughout this league season, we haven't gone with Liverpool defenders as well. We know Liverpool as a defensive unit has been really bad, and we have been talking about it. Fabinho not playing up to the mark, then with the lack of the midfield industrious midfielders which Klopp prefers, they have been lacking them as well. So it has been clear situation. It's about how much they can score and can they
Right,
match the oppositions. In a
right,
way, that has been the whole discussion around Liverpool this time. Now they have lost probably Van Dijk as well to a lengthy injury, as per the
right,
reports. So it's really
right,
not looking good at the moment. Matip coming back, and then they lost Van Dijk. So yeah, now it's just about finishing in top four. And apart from that, if they don't score goals, as on this day where Darwin had plenty of chances, Salah had
right,
chances, and
right,
Ox had one or two chances. So if they
right.
don't score, they are bound to get such results, which shouldn't be surprising anymore now, I think.
Right. So I was reading a stats in Opta, I guess, that Darwin has the most number of chances in the penalty box. I think, and he has he's the first in terms of chances he has got in the top five leagues, and he's 90th in terms of conversion. So that explains a lot what is happening with Liverpool. Even the commentators are trying to say that this guy has a lot of potential. He's just raw talent. But at the end of the day, when Liverpool is struggling to, score goals, and when most of their attacking players are injured, like Jota and Diaz, you can't experiment with someone like a Nunes. You can't say that give him time, because Liverpool need goals right now, and if they don't manage to score, I'm sure they won't be in the top four, because the way the other sides are playing, City, United, Arsenal, Newcastle, this is the top four that you can see right now based on the current form. So I don't think that Liverpool has any chance unless Nunes starts scoring goals.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And apart from that, the only good part about Liverpool is now they have got Gakpo, who will definitely try
Right,
to add quality in that attacking trio up
right,
front, and definitely probably will get more goals. So that is the only silver lining Liverpool fans have currently. Apart from that, I'm not sure, there are not any more reports about any midfielders, the usual Bellingham
right,
going
right,
on
right,
and through. So, but I'm not sure what they are looking at currently. There are a lot of options, but Klopp uh, has lost few scouts as well, scouts and direct the people who are in charge of getting transfers done. And since then it has been a downhill, is what I have been
Yeah.
continuously reading. So let's see how they cope up with it and how they get the midfielders which Klopp's
Yeah.
desire and work in his system. So yeah, definitely difficult half for Liverpool fans to make it in top four. Definitely.
Right. So moving on to the Arsenal Newcastle game, we did preview it a bit initially, but how was this match? It was really, a good match to watch in the sense that both teams were fighting it out. Both teams wanted to win, but you could clearly see that Arsenal were the better side in terms of at least from a footballing sense. But Newcastle were really clever in the way they managed the matches, right?
Yes.
Managed the match, right?
Yes. So to start with, in the first 10-15 minutes, Eddie Howe preferred a 4-3-3 formation, and we saw Arsenal played right through it. Like they were just passing ball for fun, playing through balls, playing through the lines and everywhere. And Newcastle had no answer. They were just able to stop it from going inside the net. Then Eddie Howe changed it to a 4-5-1. We saw Joe Linton and everyone coming back and defending, helping them defend. That is when it started to look like more of an even game where Newcastle started to come back, stop Arsenal within their tracks, not being able to let Arsenal play much in the attacking third. Like Arsenal really played, tried to make those chances, but in the first half, first 20 minutes, the quality was different, easily bypassing those half
Right.
spaces and lines of Newcastle defense. So yes, but eventually we saw a stat saying the game was only played for somewhere around 49-50 minutes from the 98th minute, and a lot of Arsenal fans, Mikel Arteta as well, saying there should be a change in rule. You should add proper time, probably like a 6:30 minute half, and playing, stopping the watch when the ball goes out, something like that. I'm not sure, but yeah, if you play in the high leagues like Champions League, you have seen Atletico teams do that. So it's not something new.
Right.
Pep has faced it a lot, and this is not something which has been done in the past. Everyone complains, but unfortunately, that is it. So that is where the quality shows. Basically, if
Right.
you
Right.
can pass through that phase without complaining, try to focus more on scoring and getting the result. So that is what it differs the average teams from the champion team. So that will
Right.
be a crucial
Also,
factor.
yeah, right. Arsenal had a tough run of fixtures in the sense they played an informed Brighton side, and then they played a very good Newcastle side who are in the title race, who can eventually, if the top teams do slip up, Newcastle can be there because they are playing really good under Eddie Howe. So they managed to win against West Ham 3-1 Arsenal, and against Brighton they won 2-4. But it could have gone both ways, right? The Brighton Arsenal match, and this match they have drawn. So next they have another tough match in Tottenham, but it's Tottenham, like Arsenal are playing away at Tottenham, and it's also a tough match where Arsenal will have to be in the top of their game to win the match. Even though Spurs are a hit and miss side who can turn up sometimes, who don't turn up sometimes. So it's tough for them right now, and if they can just manage through this period, then I'm sure they can eventually, you know, maybe win the title if they stay at it.
It's now theirs to lose. Basically, I
Definitely,
know there are
definitely.
still 19 games to go, but they have a healthy lead over City. So definitely their title to lose. But apart from that, North London derby, as you mentioned, it's a special game for Spurs. You never know. Arsenal might draw it, and then again, boom, they have two games to play with City, which can be crucial. And talking about that, City and Arsenal fighting it hard and hard, there is a third opponent coming in. Hose, you would be
Right.
happy. That's your team. So let's
Definitely.
talk about them as well.
Yeah. So something I liked about this Man United Bournemouth game was that even though we won 3-0, Eric Tanner came out and said this was not our greatest match, because it definitely wasn't. And it takes a lot of, like, someone who believes in their philosophy, someone like a Pep would come out and say, like, after winning 3-0, that it was not a great game. I was not impressed. So we wanted a manager like this for a long time right now, and finally we have got a manager who brings stability to the side, and you can see how United plays. Even some of the goals that we score are like, you can see the repetitiveness, the planning, and also the philosophy that is already there in the team. You can see a blueprint to what Eric Ten Hag is trying to do with fast runners, and and people running past players as well. And with the ball and without the ball also, United looks like a good side, but they have to prove that against a very good opponent like a City, because last time we thought United turned a corner and eventually got beaten by City, got thrashed by City. So this is going to be a good test for United, the next City match. And if United manages to win that match, then we can definitely say that United are also in the mix. But for me, it's really too early, because Eric Ten Hag needs time, and also against top oppositions, we won't be able to implement the philosophy um, throughout the match, because we'll see in some moments we will be good, in some moments we won't be. So I think it's a long shot to call United title contender, but I am very happy to hear that from people and pundits around the world.
Definitely. The only problem which I see United is if they get space, they dominate the opponents and they score a lot of goals. Against the teams who like to sit, it will be interesting to watch how they United play, because they have struggled as well against such kind of teams, and that is the biggest test for teams like United as well, who generally struggle with teams who sit. So definitely it will be a good watch for United fans who have been suffering for a lot to be in the title contention finally. So let's move on to our other team, that is Spurs. They have been literally up and down, up and down. Sometimes they lose against some teams, sometimes they play against some team and win comfortably. I don't know what's going on. They won yesterday 4-0, and Kane and Son again back into the goals and in the mix. So, any thoughts, Hose, on that game?
Yeah, so if Harry Kane turns up, they win 4-0. And if Hoiberg turns up, they win 2, they draw 2-2. And that too after conceding in the first half. Hoiberg will come out of nowhere and score a goal, and then Spurs will try to come back into the game, and they'll eventually end up drawing the match or winning the match. So um, I've been frustrated by what Conte has been saying. He's like, this is all what I can do with this team, but actually you can do much more. The team doesn't look cohesive enough in some of the matches, and and the team does not bring to mind a Conte team, because the fullbacks rushing through the flanks, you don't see that often with Spurs now. And also teams can play through them at times, so you don't expect that from a Conte side, right? And I don't think the Spurs fans will be patient for another season with Conte if he goes on talking about the lack of quality, the lack of signings, and if he keeps cribbing about things. I don't think he will end up being the Spurs manager for a long time.
That has been the usual Conte cycle: come in,
Hmm.
go to great heights, then suddenly fall off and then complain.
Right.
But let's talk about the other big game this week. Important game for City. They were trailing by 8 points, if I'm right, and since 5 6 points, and then Arsenal dropped
Five,
Arsenal
five,
dropped
seven
points,
points.
and they had a chance to recover some points, and they definitely did. But
Yeah.
when we saw the lineup, Chelsea put up a very attacking lineup, and there were discussions going on. It could be an easy game for City, where they just come in,
Right.
score plenty of goals, and just blow Chelsea away, and then go on to the and win the game.
Right.
But
Right.
what we saw in the game, it was very impressive from a Chelsea perspective. They didn't get the result,
Definitely.
but
Definitely.
there were few positives, and apart from that, they lost their two key players at the start, Sterling and Pulisic, who are known, like, what I thought Potter was supposed to do, like what his original plan was to sit back and then counter, and in that way, when you lose your two pacey players like Pulisic and Sterling, who are known to counter good, it's really a tough ask to go from there. But apart from that, they showed their character. Zakaria especially, 3 4 players charged him, but he looked like there was
Yeah.
no stopping him. He was just gliding past them and like not giving position away. So that was really good to see. And from
Yeah.
City's perspective, Pep came out after the game, said, "I made a mistake." He thought they were going to sit fire at the back, and that's why he played Cancelo as right winger, and we saw Foden as the left winger, which
Yes.
apart from like it was something again, Pep does what he likes to, but he came out and he said he thought that was the wrong approach, and Chelsea played four at the back, and in the first half we saw as a result the chances weren't there for City, just one or two chance when Gundogan put a through ball to Haaland. That was what was expected to from
Yep.
them, but they
Yeah.
didn't provide. What's your thoughts
Mm.
on this game?
Yeah, so another point to note is that Rico Luis kind of turned the game because he is being used by Pep in a very different way, where like somewhat like how he used to have Sinchenko or Walker like in some parts of the season last year. So he is bringing something different to Pep's side. And also about Chelsea, I was just looking through the table and they're sitting in 10th place right now, which is like I thought they would be like 7th or 8th, but they're sitting in 10th place. And definitely the way they're playing was really bad. Like before the World Cup, I think they went into the World Cup with 4 losses, back to back losses, and they had to win the next match, and they did win the match against Bournemouth, and they drew against Nottingham Forest, and that old self of Chelsea was showing a bit towards the Nottingham Forest match. And then I thought against City they would struggle, they would be absolutely thrashed by City, but I was really impressed by how Chelsea kept the ball, how they were not afraid to counter and also play fluid football as well. And talking about City are not great as well, right? Like they don't look like they're in the best shape right now. And Foden and Cancelo coming in and out of the team, there is definitely some issue going on inside City. That's why the side doesn't look settled. And Grealish playing on the left side for Pep, when we expect someone with the quality of Foden to be playing, it doesn't look good. That's why City don't look that fluid enough in transitions as well. And I was very surprised to see Cancelo start as somewhat like a winger. He was playing like a winger initially, and City uh, were fortunate to get away with the win because Chelsea played really well in this game.
Yeah. In the first half, definitely Cancelo looked bad because again he was playing as a right winger. What Pep generally does is he plays him as that two in the midfield alongside Rodri, which generally he's now trying with Lewis.
Lewis,
So yeah, yesterday he could have done that, but again he subbed Cancelo. So again, as we have seen, Cancelo has just played half a game in the past 3 games now.
3 games,
So
right?
is that a fitness issue post World Cup? In the World Cup game as well, from Portugal side, Cancelo was benched in the last game. So I don't know, is it a fitness issue or is it a mental issue or Pep is not happy? I'm not sure,
Right,
but the rise of Lewis has definitely given him an option where we have seen Cancelo was undroppable almost in the past seasons, has been now being in a competitive place. So yeah, interesting time for City. They have a few good matches upcoming as well. Arsenal fixture, the City United fixture. So it will be interesting time where let's see whether they can face and come out of it being still a title contender. Like they will be, but reducing the gap in the points. So that's it for Premier League this week. So let's move